Hello friends, James Stevenson here with your subscriber-exclusive weekly episode of James and Loki's Gems of the Week, the series in which Loki and I, from Loki's Spot, go through all of the posts that we liked on X over the previous week and talk about why we liked them. Without further ado, we will jump to the content. I jumped too far just then, but this was the last post that we saw in last week's episode from Elon Musk saying good to go outside once in a while as he enjoyed US Open tennis with the CEO of one of the major gaming companies, maybe id Software, the guys behind Doom and other video games. Let me know in the comments below if you remember which video game CEO he was sitting with. I think the Diablo guy. There's too many video game companies to keep up with. It wasn't Bethesda, because I know that guy's Todd Howard, who Elon is also chummy with and has done an interview before with, if you want to go find that. Group interview. It's a weird format, but it worked in that one in particular. Here's one from Pi Beta Kitten, officially now, Mrs. James Dalma. They got married a week ago. James Dalma and Karen Baumer. So congratulations, you two crazy kids, I think I said in a comment last week. What do we have here? Well, it's a thread begun by Earl of Frunk Puppy at 28 delays later with an AI-generated box of coleslaw cereal, which I wouldn't try looking at this bowl of coleslaw cereal. No thanks. Maybe it'll work well in Asian markets. I wouldn't buy that AI cereal. I replied, AI gets the spirit and tone right, but never the details. Here with another box of cereal. This time it is Dennis Clark's Hawaiian Coffee cereal. It's bavicious. It's dangerously close to saying Disney here. Maybe I'm seeing that and it's not really there. Maybe it says Gadani or something. But yeah, AI gets the spirit and the tone right, never the details. The background here looks somewhat convincing. I'm not sure what this character is meant to be. And I definitely don't know what this ghost rising from a pot of soil is supposed to be about over here. Maybe that's the arch enemy of Happy the Squirrel here. I don't know. But Vorcarinus. So sounds like a warning in Latin. I don't know. But there you go. One too many hands. Typical. Yeah, we all know Dennis Clark claimed to have only one arm. Falsely, he was found to have been lying about being a military veteran who lost an arm in combat, which is one of the lowest things you can lie about. Like, I'm sure there's worse things you could lie about, but that's a terrible choice. Sometimes it's appropriate to tell a polite little white lie so as not to hurt people's feelings. Way at the other end of the spectrum is telling people you lost an arm in combat serving your country when you didn't. That's worthy of lasting rebuke that Dennis Clark richly earned, if even such a person does exist. We don't know. That account disappeared a long time ago. After promising Earl a free Model X, Earl ended up having to pay for his Model X. Like a sucker. What else do I have here? I don't know how I ended up in the wrong spot. These must be previous tweets. I have scrolled down the list too far and I'm showing you more stuff you already saw last week. So I'm going to scroll up and show you the next post that I liked from Roland Percher at Pilolly. Tesla reaches over 100,000 sales for the first time after 2 months of the quarter. Now, if you've been following Tesla as closely as I have, you know Tesla passed 100,000 sales a long, long time ago. Might have been Q3 of 2019, something like that. But August is also the best month of the year so far with 63,456 units. What are we talking about for this record? It's Tesla sales in China. So Tesla has never already sold more than 100,000 vehicles in China by the end of the second month of any quarter. I know that's a record that takes some time to explain, but I can't do it better than I just did it. This yellow bar ends at a higher point than any of the previous yellow bars did, is all that record means. Tesla's off to a great start in domestic sales within China for Q3 of 24. Now, what we don't know is how they're going to do exporting from Shanghai. I mean, we do know because Roland Percher tracks it for you, and you can find it from others who do the same thing as numbers get reported out of China. There's a little delay on it, but it's not bad. And it's certainly a lot better than what you get from other markets where there's no reporting at all. And you just have to go with people's guesses, which is less than ideal. I wish Tesla would report in more detail, but what else is new? I've been complaining about that for a long time. Here's one from the Cybertruck guy at CYBRTRKGUY on X. Regarding Cybertruck, I'm pretty sure they couldn't build and sell that in America, said Matt Farah, who calls himself the Smoking Tire.
I think... my initial reaction to that was, that's not a real thing.
Meet George Jetson.
And my second reaction is, I'm pretty sure they couldn't build and sell that in America.
Why?
Because I just don't think that will pass the test that it needs to pass. And furthermore,
what kind of tests?
more like crash tests, pedestrian safety, stuff like that.
So that shows you what that car expert knows. Self-styled car expert Matt Farah. I think he writes about cars, petrol head, gearhead, whatever pejorative you want to apply to auto journalists are fitting to be cast at Matt Farah of the Smoking Tire for saying Cybertruck couldn't be built and that it wouldn't pass pedestrian safety requirements, even though Tesla is great at safety and always has been. Like, nobody makes a safer fleet of cars than Tesla does. So just this dummy, as usual, hating hard on Tesla. Let me run the Who's Hating Hard on Tesla Today sizzle, which I'm not in the habit of doing during James and Loki's Gyms of the Week before returning to your regularly scheduled program in honor of Matt Farah, the Smoking Tire. Here's another one from Roland at PILOLY on X. China reported 63,456 Tesla sales and 3.3% market share for August. BEV adoption is at 30.6% now in China. Market share is 24 basis points or 8% above the 3-month trailing average of 3.1%. Tesla is the 7th best-selling brand. I'm sure the number one non-domestic brand. Model Y, second best-selling car, 71% Model Y, and 29% Model 3. Let's show more since I like this tweet. Third best second month of the quarter ever, and plus 15% versus the previous one. Second best August ever, down 3% versus August last year. All right, so didn't miss the best ever by much. Best quarter ever after second month of quarter, and plus 26% versus the same period last year. Last 3 months up 13% versus March through May, so the rolling 3-month average is up year over year. Year-to-date 1% over same period last year. Year-to-date is 64% or 7.6 twelfths of last year's total. All right, so we got some charts here to look at. Maybe I like this post for the chart. So you can see 2024 nearly caught up with the prior year and having a good couple of months here. The last 2 months have been real strong, up year over year, and the last 3 months are also up year over year. And the last 4 months, you can see, are up of the prior year, because the distance from here to here is greater than the distance from here to here is. That's how you know. So good stuff on that first chart. Here's one showing Tesla sales in China per month and year. So you can see this one. We have pink bars up until August, and then there's no more pink bars yet because those months haven't happened yet. So once they happen, Roland will add them to the chart. And here's the one you saw already. And here's another one showing cumulative Tesla sales in China per year and month. Another good way of visualizing how Tesla is doing so far this year in a dead heat with the previous record high year, which was last year. Unsurprisingly, in 2023, Tesla had its best year ever, and they're running nearly at that pace so far in 2024. So good stuff there from Roland. I'll hit the back button only once and then scroll up to the next post that I liked from Larry Goldberg at Tesla Larry. So here's a new departure for me. Farzad has graciously provided me with my own channel to do with as I wish. And this is my first. Warning, it's pretty dry, all about the data. What data? Tesla's warranty data. I examine with a critical eye the wild claims of how poor is Tesla's quality. The too long didn't read version is Tesla's quality is world class. I have found that to be true myself previously when researching exactly this topic, warranty claims. Tesla Q has for many years tried convincing people that Tesla is somehow fraudulently accounting for warranties, and that's not true at all. And they've also tried saying that Tesla has a lot of warranty repairs that they do in a sneaky way, trying to hide it by calling it goodwill instead of repairs expense, which is a bizarre claim. It's a balance sheet account. Like, I'm going to lose half my audience if I keep dipping my toe further into this topic because it's abstruse accounting here. But at the time you sell cars, you accrue a warranty reserve for repairs that will happen in the future for some of the cars that you sold, right? Some percentage of that sale price should be reserved on your balance sheet as a liability with which to pay for those repairs under warranty, right? And the long story short is, Tesla's accounting for it fine, and the claims against the warranty were lower than the amount Tesla estimated, which you have to do under GAAP accounting. You have to estimate how much you think the warranty repairs are going to be. And Tesla hasn't needed all the money that they accrued. They saved up to be able to pay for those repairs under warranty because the customer doesn't have to pay for those repairs. The warranty pays for it, or rather, the company is paying for it, right? Because it's covered by the warranty. All right. So good to see Tesla Larry continuing to find that same information. Go check that out if it interests you. If not, I'm going to proceed before I lose you. Here's one from Wes at W Morrill 3. This is Wes Morrill, who ran and continues to run, I think, a lot of Cybertruck research, development, production issues. So he's working on a lot of stuff for Cybertruck for Tesla. This dummy, Kevin Melnick, I'm going to run the Who's Hating Hard on Tesla Today sizzle again in honor of Kevin Melnick. Don't believe this guy. Anything you see this guy post, take with a grain of salt and be highly suspicious of. I haven't seen him post anything that I thought was very accurate. Here's this post. Tesla doesn't offer off-road protection. They only had 5 years to decide not to do this for the tough truck. Tagging at Tesla. And then off-road with a screenshot of Rivian saying all-terrain package, get extra protection and traction for rough terrain with a reinforced underbody shield, 20-inch all-terrain wheels, matching full-size spare, and built-in air compressor for the low, low price of $3,950. You can get that on your Rivian electric truck. He's retweeting Brandon Flash, saying underbody protection is important. This post has been community noted. Readers added context. The Cybertruck includes an aluminum skid plate for underbody protection that was removed prior to this stunt. What stunt? This idiot driving his Cybertruck straight through a fence lengthwise, exactly the way you would do it if you wanted to destroy the front of the car. Like, he's real lucky none of those posts made it through into the cabin where he was driving the car. Like, if you're looking for a real dumb thing to do, follow that guy's lead and try driving lengthwise through a fence. That's real dumb. I'll hit the back button here and show you Wes Morrill's reply. Battery armor and rock sliders will be available as a retrofit option end of this year. Also, if you plan to drive into fences, probably best not to remove the front bumper and aluminum skid plate that comes stock. Yeah, so all that fluid you saw leaking from the front of the Cybertruck, I think, is the air conditioning. Like, you got to put the evaporator up front to get fresh air, I think. So there's maybe a radiator up there or something about the cooling system. I don't know. Leave me a reply in the comments below if you know better than I do what was leaking all that fluid. That's a very expectable, predictable outcome of driving through rigid objects pointed at your car. Don't do that. Here's one from James Catt at TeslaFanMTL at TSLA Elon is always 7 years too late. No, early. Too early. The opposite of what I just said. I can read. Elon is always 7 years too early. Tweeting. Talking's hard. Try it sometimes, guys. Do a video for an hour where you talk. Even when reading, it can be difficult to read words. Retweeting Sawyer Merritt, who said Mobileye has been quoted as saying the following: we now believe that the availability of next generation FMCW LiDAR is less essential to our roadmap for eyes-off systems, etc. I'm not going to read you the rest because it's so boring from Mobileye, and they're couching their language so cautiously. But he is usually right, James Catt added. WholeMars catalog said, Mobileye 2023 revenue, $2 billion. FSD 2023 revenue estimated by Goldman Sachs to be $3 billion. He's not early, he's 10 years ahead of the curve. James Catt said, we are saying the same thing. And he's right about that. I thought I replied in here. I gotta find my reply. A reply from me. I said stuff in this conversation. Shouldn't X be showing me the stuff I said in this conversation? I said things. Did I say them to WholeMars? And it's showing me James Catt's reply instead of mine? Did I retweet it? Where's the stuff I said? I say things sometimes. This is where I just was. Let's see. No, I didn't retweet it. All right, if you can find what I said in this conversation, leave me a quote tweet in the replies that says. Maybe we'll see it again before the end of the video. I'll hit the back button one more time and keep scrolling up. And fuel cells and hydrogen combustion cars make LiDAR look smart. Elon replied to Sawyer Merritt saying, Elon in 2019 said LiDAR is a fool's errand. Anyone relying on LiDAR is doomed. Expensive sensors that are unnecessary, you'll see. And they've all been ditching LiDAR since. Meanwhile, BMW aims to bring its first hydrogen-powered vehicle onto the market in 2028, following the dumb lead of Toyota. Yeah, that's funny. Hydrogen. All right, did I retweet either of these? No? Okay, we'll keep going. If I can figure out how to keep going. All right, here's one from Teslatino that I liked. At Teslatino, woohoo. Woo-hoo. Woo-hoo. Tesla charging, even when slow-ish, it's fast and convenient and convenient. Yeah, that's how happy Teslatino was to be back on the supercharging network again. After having trekked all the way to the Arctic Ocean, the Arctic Circle, or whatever the name of that body of water is, between Canada and the North Pole, there's some water, and it's very cold, and Teslatino took a trip to go visit it, and on his way back, he was thrilled to get back to a charger he didn't just install himself, which is how they got all the way up there. There is no Tesla supercharging network that far north. So they made their own. They brought it with them and plugged it in to the few local businesses they could find that would agree to let them do that. So others can follow in their footsteps. So that's great news. Best deal in America for a Tesla, said Elon Musk, retweeting Tesla North America with the Colorado EV tax credits. There's a bunch of them. You can take advantage of up to $24,350 in incentives, federal and state. When also including estimated gas savings, this means Model 3 starts at $14,780 and Model Y starts at $15,780. Those are amazing. And if all-wheel drive is important to you, as it may be living in Colorado where the winters are cold and snow falls a lot, then you would pay maybe a couple $1,000s more. I haven't priced it recently. I mean, you're still looking at well under $20,000 for a brand new all-wheel drive Tesla in Colorado after $24,350 in federal and state EV buyer incentives and estimated gas savings. So I don't know how anything else is selling in Colorado unless you just want to buy a Jeep because that's your favorite kind of vehicle or whatever. You're paying a big premium to buy anything other than a Model 3 or a Model Y if you're in Colorado. All right. Here's Sawyer Merritt with news. Lithium carbonate prices in China have fallen to a new multi-year low and are now down 88% from their November 2022 high. So I guess this peak was driven by speculation, and the price has done nothing but come down since to this level not seen since early 2021. So good news there. Maybe those prices will continue to be driven down, making EV batteries more affordable because you do need a bunch of lithium carbonate to make batteries. It isn't the primary ingredient in batteries, but it is one of them, so it's good to see that raw materials cost coming down. Here's another one from James Catt. Tesla is not doing enough as the leader in this space to address the psychological barriers that are preventing broad EV adoption in the US and change consumer sentiment. It's not an affordability issue. It's not a product issue. It's an awareness and understanding issue. Couldn't have said it better myself. He's right. And I liked and did not retweet that tweet. But man, I am stingy on the retweets, aren't I? I must have just already posted something myself that I wanted people to be able to see before this replaced it. But Investor's Guide to the Galaxy is who he is retweeting. In its latest Mobility Consumer Index, consulting firm EY, that's Ernst & Young, found that only 34% of U.S. consumers plan to purchase an electrified vehicle, meaning fully electric, plug-in hybrid, or hybrid as their next car. That's down from 48% last year. That's bad. That's bad. You don't want that. These lines that are going down are a problem. We don't want fully electric interest dropping. What is that? 10 points from 22 to 12? That's real bad. And it's not good. Additionally, both of those things are true about the numbers that you see on this chart. This is not what you want if you sell EVs. What you would prefer to see is that these lines that are green go up. That more people want to buy fully electric, especially vehicles, because those are the kind Tesla makes. And it's not an affordability issue, and it's not a product issue. It is an awareness and understanding issue. And Tesla should be doing more to actively combat the problem. Here's one from Travis Axelrod, who runs investor relations for Tesla. Make sure to sign up for the hashtag Tesla stockholder platform for a chance to attend our event on 10/10 in LA. This is how we know the rumors are true about Tesla booking the Warner Brothers Studios backlot in Los Angeles, because Travis Axelrod ought to know where the event is being held, and he says it's being held in LA. So I would mark that rumor all but 100% confirmed. Like, I guess it's possible there could still be an event in LA, but not at the Warner Brothers studio, but the timing is too coincidental on that rumor going out and then this tweet going out from Travis Axelrod. Upon sign up, each share you own will be an entry into our random drawing. We expect to begin communicating results the week of 9/23 and will provide more details when we issue tickets. Space is extremely limited. Good luck. With a link here to ir.tesla.com, which is possibly Travis Axelrod's favorite website. It's the one he runs now that Martin Viecha has retired from Tesla to go do whatever he would rather be doing. So congratulations, Martin Viecha, on many proud years of service to Tesla and helping the mission along. Travis Axelrod has taken up the torch and continuing to advance the cause of electric vehicles and being of assistance to Tesla shareholders like me and possibly you, dear viewer and subscriber. I'd be shocked if many of you aren't owners of some Tesla shares. So be sure to sign up. If you haven't signed up before, you could win a ticket to go see Elon do the Robotaxi presentation live and in person in LA. If you didn't know that's out there, go follow Travis Axelrod so you'll see those notifications yourself before they appear in James and Loki's Gems of the Week. Loki and I can't do all the work for you. Hand the Loki cam down a little bit so you get a better view of Loki over there. Actually, I know what I can do to make that Loki cam look a little bit better. I can turn on the light that's above Loki and also illuminates me a little bit. I've got a light bouncing off the ceiling above Loki over there that normally I remember to turn on before recording videos, but today I forgot. Here's one from the Short Shorts historian that I liked, at Tesla Historian, this day in Tesla Q history, an oldie but goodie, tagging at Mark B. Spiegel and at Stanfill Cap from 8 years ago. Why tag two accounts for one person? Because this was the account that sent this screenshotted post, but he got himself suspended from Twitter before it was X for a very good reason, which I will not repeat here. But they did the right thing, permanently banning his account from X. So he now uses his alt account, Stanfill Cap, which is the dumb little dinky fund he runs, named after his parents, Stanley and Phyllis, who gave him the money to start up the fund, because who else would be dumb enough to give Mark B. Spiegel money to invest for them? Here's his post. BMW's and Tesla's problem is that the Bolt has this car beat on every metric. It'll destroy the i3 and Tesla growth. He was retweeting. Mark B. Spiegel was retweeting. BMW I. Come closer to look in the eye of sustainable urban mobility. Hashtag BMW i3. Yeah, the BMW i3 with the eDrive and the city skyline in the reflection. That was BMW's effort at trying to market this vehicle. Nobody bought this vehicle. Like the sales, I don't know if they made 10,000 units in a year on this dumb vehicle that they never believed in the first place. But Mark B. Spiegel thought that it was going to be a Tesla killer, so that's pretty funny. Here's one from Rohan Patel that I liked, at Rohan S. Patel. I haven't liked all of his tweets recently, but I did like this one. Electrek.co claiming Toyota's all-solid-state EV battery plans get the green light in Japan. Yeah, they're trotting out the old solid-state battery hype train again. I replied, Martin Vieca replied, has anyone been counting the Toyota about to go solid-state headlines over the past decade? I replied, the official Toyota UK account on Facebook actually claimed Toyota had mastered solid-state battery tech way back in 2020. I wish I were making that up like I made up the meme about spicy brown mustard flavored ice cream. So this is me, February 2nd of 2020, replying to K10. And the Third Row podcast in this thread, when Toyota was talking about hydrogen cars. Yeah, some dumb hydrogen stuff. So it's hard out here for a pioneer. You have died of dysentery, with a reference to the Oregon Trail video game from my youth. We were allowed to play that video game in school because it was supposed to be teaching us about frontier life and how hard it was for the pioneers trying to move west across the United States via covered wagon, treacherous river crossings, and other perils of the wilds. K10 replied, haha, trailblazers, with a Portlandia gif here. I said I expected more from the company that mastered solid-state battery tech and invented mustard ice cream. So I'll let you pause this and read through it if you want. The thing on the left is legit. This actually was a real interaction on Facebook between Toyota's official UK brand marketing account and Liam Hind, who asked them a question about hydrogen cars. I don't know if this was a plant or a shill or whatever, but yeah, their fantastic response I found totally hilarious for reasons that will become obvious to you if after your first read through you think, well, yeah, that makes sense. Compare it against what's on the right here. I wrote this. So Toyota isn't really working on next generation ice cream, but I think if they were, they would be working on spicy brown mustard flavored ice cream. Because that is the equivalent in my mind to hydrogen cars. It is an idea that is not going to work. Stop working on hydrogen cars, Toyota. It's never going to happen. Stop trying to make fetch happen. It will not happen. Yeah. Okay, the next thing that I liked was that tweet you saw from Martin Vieca there. Here's one from Matt Smith. I was on a team that developed wind projects in both Ohio and Texas. There were significantly fewer approvals for the Texas project, even though it was 5 times the size, and the Ohio project had ongoing environmental monitoring requirements, which both added costs and forced us to curtail for a significant number of hours on an ongoing basis. With fewer regulatory hurdles, lower costs, and greater revenue potential, it's not surprising that so many developers are focusing on Texas. Texas is a great spot to install renewable energy. A lot of folks don't know that, but Rohan is pointing it out here, saying it's a cheat code that didn't exist until recently, 10 plus years ago. Permitting reform with real time limits and efficiency would have helped fossil fuel Infrastructure more than renewables. Today, the opposite is true. Anyone who cares about climate action should be pushing like hell to get more efficient, just as environmentally protective permitting to actually decarb our economy. Retweeting Alex Stapp, I've never seen this account before, who said, I will never get over the irony that Texas is blowing away the rest of the country in deploying solar, wind, and batteries. Just let people build stuff and clean energy will win. With this mind-blowing bar chart, I remember Texas 30 years ago already having wind power all over the state. You could see it anywhere there was a significant change in altitude, anywhere there was a big a cliff or a pass where there would be winds all the time. Texas already had wind up way back then. You can see how much wind they have. It's a lot compared to other states in the U.S. They might have more wind than everybody else combined, as they appear to have way more solar now and batteries. California is doing pretty well on batteries too, but shouldn't be surprising to see Arizona this high on the list with solar. That's not the most populous state in the U.S., but they sure do get a lot of sunshine, and nobody fails to notice how much sunshine there is in Arizona either. It stays hot for a large portion of the year on account of how much sunshine they get. On the border with Mexico, as they are, and as Texas is, I guess. So good stuff there from Matt Smith and Rohan Patel. And we just saw that tweet. Here's one from Nic Cruz Patane that I liked. Cybertruck plows through a huge puddle in Florida. The truck filming the Tacoma gets stuck right after, via Andrew Hodgden. Yeah, so impossible for me to know how if they had gone in the opposite order, if the Tacoma would have made it and the Cybertruck wouldn't have. Bear with me as I explain. It's perhaps possible that the Cybertruck dug out a larger puddle on its way through, causing the Tacoma to get stuck when it otherwise wouldn't have. But still, fun video to see posted, so I gave that one a like. Here's one from Carsonight that I liked. Sure, how about Kevin Watson, who spent 26 years as a NASA rocket engineer before being hired by SpaceX and is now CEO of his own company, as quoted by Ashley Vance, saying Elon is brilliant. He's involved in just about everything. He understands everything. If he asks you a question, you learn very quickly not to give him a gut reaction. He wants answers that get down to the fundamental laws of physics. One thing he understands really well is the physics of the rockets. He understands that like nobody else. The stuff I have seen him do in his head is crazy. He can get in discussions about flying a satellite and whether we can make the right orbit and deliver Dragon at the same time, and solve all these equations in real time. It's amazing to watch the amount of knowledge he has accumulated over the years. I don't want to be the person who ever has to compete with Elon. You might as well leave the business and find something else to do. He will outmaneuver you, outthink you, and out-execute you. There's another one here from Carsonight saying, how about aerospace engineer Robert Zubrin? When I met Elon, it was apparent to me that although he had a scientific mind, he did not know anything about rockets. That was in 2001. By 2007, he knew everything about rockets. He really knew everything in detail, said Robert Zubrin. And of course, we cannot forget Tom Mueller. Impulse Space CEO Tom Mueller talks about early days at SpaceX. An aerospace engineer known for his groundbreaking work in rocket engine design, Mueller was a founding employee of SpaceX. Quoted as saying, Elon was the best mentor I've ever had, just how to have drive and be an entrepreneur and influence my team and really make things happen. He's a super smart guy, and he learns from talking to people. He's so sharp, he just picks it up. When we first started, he didn't know a lot about propulsion. he knew quite a bit about structures and helped the structures guys a lot. Over the 20 years that we worked together, now he's practically running propulsion there because he's come up to speed and he understands how to do rocket engines, which are really one of the most complex parts of the vehicle. He's always been excellent at architecting the whole mission, but now he's a lot better at the very small details of the combustion process. Stuff I learned over a decade and a half at TRW, he's picked up too. Rocket scientists call Elon Musk a rocket scientist. I will take their word over yours. Replying to this idiot, Chris Evans at Not Cap'n America, because the actor who played Captain America in the Marvel movies was also named Chris Evans. Elon Musk is not a rocket scientist, was his stupid claim. Retweeting somebody else, saying it's funny when people compare someone like Cuban to Musk, who is literally a rocket scientist. Well, William Mitchelson was right. Elon Musk is literally a rocket scientist. Not just that, he is also the chief engineer of SpaceX. So he runs all of the engineering at SpaceX, and you can be sure he also runs all the engineering at Tesla and at X, right, where they also do computer engineering. Yeah. So good tweets there from Carsonight. Replying to this 60s child, name one rocket scientist that calls Musk that, just one. Carsonite, as we saw, gave him 3. All right, we'll back out of here and keep going. Here's one from Nic Cruz Patane. Once again, James May's request for Elon Musk, could you make something about the same size of the Model Y, or maybe even a bit smaller, but styled like a Cybertruck? Not surprising to see this request come from a European. The roads in downtown areas, especially of European cities, can be somewhat constraining on having a large pickup truck, which is why large pickup trucks don't sell well in France, Italy, England, etc.
Here's what I think. I think the Cybertruck is actually very ballsy and quite humorous, but I am quite glad it exists. And if I could make a little appeal to Elon Musk, could you make something about the size of the Model Y, or maybe even a little bit smaller, still like a Tesla, still with all this Tesla stuff on it, but styled like this? I'd go for that. Anyway, viewers.
All right. So that was a clip from James May's review of Cybertruck. He got one in California and drove it around and talked about it for a while. I watched the whole video. That's a good clip from that video. It doesn't really summarize the entire video. Go check it out if that's interesting to you. Top Gear is the British show about cars, especially sports cars. But they've looked at all sorts of different automobiles, I guess. No matter how small the production run on the show Top Gear, they like weird cars. And James May said he was not going to buy a Cybertruck himself personally, but that he would if there were a smaller version with the same styling that would fit in those narrow streets, etc. Small parking spaces in many places in Europe, etc. Mean that people are not fans of full-size pickups there. Here's one from Eric Bray at ERIQBRE. My Cybertruck and I leaving the dealership. I freaking love this thing. Thank you, Tesla. So there he is. Happy new Cybertruck owner. Rolling down his window and saying hi. So good to see another satisfied customer taking delivery of a Tesla Cybertruck. 1,600 folks like that post. I was one of them. Here's one from Omar. WholeMars catalog is the description of his X handle at WholeMarsBlog. EV charging sign right at the entrance of Home Depot. This is great. Easy at home charging. You get an estimate, you select your charger, and they will install one for you at your house, sending out a qualified electrician to do it for you if you're worried about needing to quick charge your EV at home. I don't drive a lot, and I've been able to keep my EV charged for 6 years now, nearly, on just the regular outlet that came with my house, plus the mobile connector that came with my Tesla back when Tesla included those for free. I think you still have to pay extra for it now if you want one at delivery. They might be $200 or something. But that's all I use. If you're not coming home at 0 and needing to go someplace else a long way away in the morning, just plug it in, let it charge up overnight. You'll probably be fine the next day, is my advice to people who, similarly to me, don't drive all that much. Here's one from Brian Nunez at No One Ebin on X. I'm not sure if that's the way he would pronounce that handle or not, but that's how I just did it. My first EV, proud to be an all-in investor in Tesla and now blessed to drive one. Thanks Elon Musk and everyone at Tesla, as well as King Tut, Graphy1 for the sticker wrap and tint. More pics in the comments if you're interested. Tell me what you think. Tagging me along with Tesla, Boomer Mama, Emmett Peppers, and more. So check out that fun King Tut wrap on that Cybertruck. Very cool to see how many folks are taking advantage of how easy it is to wrap the Tesla Cybertruck. Bruh, do I even tech? I tech a little. Yeah, Elon Musk techs a little. Replying to Nick, who we've seen a few posts from already. Posting, Elon continues to make the impossible possible. Thank you, Elon Musk, with a bunch of photos here. SpaceX in these two panels. Tesla in this panel. X, Twitter over here. The Boring Company. Neuralink down here. And, well, another Tesla over here for Cybertruck. So, a whole lot of tech being accomplished by Elon Musk's companies. He does tech a little. Thanks, James, said Brian Nunez. I have followed you for some time and value your content tremendously. Amongst all the noise, it's nice to connect. Thanks for dropping a comment. Well, you're very welcome, Brian. If you were a subscriber, you might be seeing this video right now. But if you decide to subscribe later and watch this video again, hi, Brian Nunez. Here's one from Alex at AJ Tourville. Would you have the guts to do this? Be honest. This is footage of Sarah Cooper Gillis, mission specialist for the SpaceX Polaris Dawn mission aboard the Dragon spacecraft. Well, actually, as seen in the video, exiting the Dragon spacecraft to go out for a spacewalk. Lead space operations engineer at SpaceX, world's second commercial spacewalk, September 12, 2024. Also, the farthest female ever from Earth. So all the Apollo astronauts who traveled farther from Earth were men in the late 60s and early 70s before that program got discontinued. There you go. That's the reason why SpaceX needed to depressurize the cabin, so everybody got their spacesuits on and their helmets on tight. You want a good watertight seal on your spacesuit before you depressurize the cabin to go do your spacewalk, because Dragon capsules don't have airlocks. Once you open up that door, the whole cabin is depressurized. So great stuff there from SpaceX, successfully continuing that ongoing mission. Here's one from Greg at Greg 16676935 on X. I don't believe you that it works. Can you try it with your account first? He got 23,000 likes on this reply to this post that got 1,600 likes from the Associated Press. Ever wanted to quit Elon Musk's X platform? Here's how you can do it. Greg doing the classic comic relief bit, which is hard to pull off, but great when done successfully. The extremely intelligent comedy writer hiding behind the persona of a dumb character. So, Family Guy did it. The Simpsons did it. It's been done many other times. But Greg is the character on X pretending to be stupid, but obviously being real smart. I don't believe you that it works. Can you try it with your account first, AP? Yeah. Why are you trying to tell people to quit a platform that you're using to market your business? That's dumb. Don't do that, AP. Here's another one from Wes. I just paid $29.99 for internet on a one-way flight, and I couldn't even listen to Spotify. Videos on X don't play, and any streaming service won't even connect. Don't even think about trying to take a call on Microsoft Teams. So United bringing Starlink to their planes is really exciting. Being free is just icing on the cake. So when you fly United in the future, once they get all the Starlink terminals installed on their fleet of 1,000 planes over the next few years, you'll be able to get Starlink quality internet in flight, which all the reports I've seen is fantastic. Latency and speed up and down. I replied, I flew Delta from San Diego to Orlando, and not only did they make me pay for internet, they made me pay for it twice because there was a stop at DFW, the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, and there was no internet while on the ground. What are we, barbarians? It's 2024. Yeah, they're dumb Delta Wi-Fi. They make you wait until the plane is airborne before you can purchase it. So you're just wasting your time before the plane takes off with no internet. Yeah, I think it was $12 each time they made me pay for it. I didn't want the plane to stop at DFW. My destination was Orlando. I felt pretty confident that after lifting off from San Diego and paying for it, I was going to have internet the whole way to Orlando. And I thought seriously about not buying it again on the way from DFW to Orlando, but it was so late at night. I wanted something to keep me awake on the flight, because that was like I saw the sunset over, I guess it was New Mexico, so it got real late that night flying back. I think it will be the standard very quickly, says Wes. Starlink for, I hope, all passenger vehicles that have, large populations. So cruise ships we've seen get Starlink already. Airliners, anything else that usually wouldn't have Wi-Fi should just get some Starlink terminals to receive internet and make everybody happy, because everybody needs internet these days. It is not the dark ages anymore. We need to be connected at all times. Here's one from S.E. Robinson Jr. that I liked. Oracle's PD Cybertruck is legit. Steve Seoane, Senior Vice President at Oracle, posted a video of the Oracle Public Safety Solutions Tesla Cybertruck. We're thrilled to announce that we've seamlessly integrated our OPS into a Cybertruck. So yeah, there's the video of the security team driving a Cybertruck painted to look like a police car to intimidate people more, I guess. If you're a bad guy, don't hang out doing bad stuff at the Oracle headquarters parking lot, because this Cybertruck will come scare you off with its aggressive styling and this drone that can buzz over you, I guess, and mildly annoy you. So there you go. Oracle, we knew this was coming when we saw a presentation by Larry Ellison a few years ago that had the mock-up for what this would look like. I mean, it says police on the door here. I don't know what the rules are for when you're allowed to call your vehicle a police vehicle. But I guess the Oracle security team checked it out and found out they were okay to put that on the side of their vehicle. I wouldn't want to get ticketed by the police or arrested by the police for painting police on the side of my vehicle. I would check with a lawyer first before doing that, and you should do likewise if you're thinking about painting police on the side of your vehicle. Just make sure that's okay to do. Here's one from S.E. Robinson Jr. Ralph Lauren's newest addition to their luxury fleet, a custom Tesla Model Y. Check it out. I would not wrap my Model Y like this, but I guess it's fun to see Polo by Ralph Lauren. I guess doing this up like it's gift wrap. Undoing gift wrap here to get at the red, white, and blue Model Y below. I don't know. Here's one from Cern Basher, at Cern Basher. Cybertruck conversation with an almost 7-year-old. My daughter, are we going to keep it forever or are we just renting? To which he replied, it's ours. And his daughter replied, yay. I can probably just play you the video and you can hear the audio for yourself.
I never went inside. I'm going to keep it forever or just rent it.
It's ours.
Aw, she's happy. Happy kids. So almost 1,000 likes on that post, which is not enough for this heartwarming family tableau climbing into the new Cybertruck. Here's one from Sawyer Merritt News. S&P Global Mobility says Tesla delivered 5,175 Cybertrucks in July, up 61% month over month, while other EV pickups combined sold just 5,546 units during the same period. What's this say? It says about half of the electric pickups sold in the US in July were Tesla Cybertrucks. The other half were everybody else combined. So, good news there for Cybertruck. Bad news for Matt Farah, smoking tire. And whatever other idiots predicted that Tesla wouldn't be able to sell any because they wouldn't be able to make any, or it would be illegal to sell them. Great to see production ramping up on Cybertruck. I won't be surprised if in all future months Cybertruck outsells every other EV pickup combined for a while, at least until there's some more compelling electric vehicles on the market that haven't been out for a while, like the Ford F-150 Lightning and the Rivian R1T have been out for a while. They're kind of at steady state business volumes, and I don't know of a significant electric pickup competitor that will come along to challenge Cybertruck anytime soon. Let me know if you do in the comments below. Here's one from Steven Spencer that I liked. If you invested $1 in the Dow Jones 90 years ago, you would have $535 today, which is roughly 20 times more buying power than you invested. After adjusting for inflation, he means. What's he screenshotted here? It was John Ehrlichman, who is fond of this format of post. You bullet a list that has amounts running down the page. You get a whole lot of that if you follow John Ehrlichman. Buying power of $1 over a century. 90 years ago, your dollar was worth $1 in 90 years ago dollars. So in 1934 dollars, post Great Depression in the U.S. 80 years ago, it was worth 74 cents. You had already lost 26% of the buying power of your dollar between 1934 and 1944. I guess there was a lot of war effort spending, deficit spending, causing inflation to occur over that 10-year period. Then it was only 48 cents by 70 years ago. So by 1954, more than half the value of that dollar had already eroded. And you can see what happened until today, 90 years later. You've only got a 25th of that dollar's value remaining. It's only worth 4 cents. So Elon said trending to zero, but Stephen Spencer pointed out probably the more important thing, which is, hey, you should be investing your money in investments that have earnings instead of burying a dollar under your mattress, right? You don't want to see whether your dollar will appreciate in value. Spoiler alert, it won't. Over anything but a very short period of time, dollars don't appreciate in value, they depreciate. Why? Because of banks. Banks make money by lending you money at a higher interest rate than they give you on the money that you give them. Okay, that's how banks make money. Banks also make money. Banks produce additional dollars. It's not just the Fed creating new money. Banks create new money subject to regulation by the federal government. So the federal government says, hey, of all the money people deposit with you, you have to keep at minimum this much of it in cash, available to be audited every other Wednesday, I think, is the rule. If we send a bank examiner to your bank, you better have at least your capital reserve amount of cash available to be withdrawn by people who have given money to your bank. You can't just keep loaning out more and more money forever. There has to be a limit, and that limit is the reserve requirement. The Federal Reserve requires banks to keep some amount of money around. I'm not an expert on this topic. I'm sharing with you my understanding of it. And if your dollar were appreciating on its own without their help, that would be a problem. That would be a problem for the bank. And it would be a problem for companies that want you to invest in them. The capital markets need to have a steady supply of cash into businesses that produce earnings. So the rate of interest that you can expect to maybe earn when you invest in a company has to be higher than the rate that you would get from a bank account, putting your money into a bank account. And that rate has to be higher than the rate you would get just holding on to your dollars. As I said before, tucking them under the mattress is a bad plan on purpose. The economy works that way. Don't leave your money in a duffel bag in your closet. That's a dumb plan for money. You need to invest that money and put it to work so that you can beat the rate of inflation. That's what this is about. And Stephen Spencer is saying, hey, what you got to do with your dollars is invest them, and then you'll have 20 times more buying power 90 years later than you had when you invested that dollar. So even though 24/25 of the value of this dollar evaporated over this time, on an inflation-adjusted basis, it's still worth 20 times more over 90 years, because 1 to 535 is better than 1 to 4 cents is bad. This is a 25 multiple. This is a 535 multiple. So the difference between the 535 multiple and the 25 multiple is this 20x. Stephen Spencer is telling you about. Invest your money is the bottom line of that long diatribe. Here's one from Michael Fan at MPGENCHAU on X. More likely, they'll say Fisker is up 860% year over year. Fisker is doing better than Tesla, even as they are a bankrupt company. That's a good reply to this post from Omar. In the US EV market, there's Tesla, and then there's everyone else. Hashtag Tesla, with this great visual that keeps coming out from this publication, S&P Global Mobility, keeps making this chart. Month after month, year after year. You can count on it to tell you this same story every time, because Tesla is mopping the floor with the competition. The nearest competitor is way behind, and the second nearest competitor is an order of magnitude behind. Chevrolet is way, way back. of Tesla in terms of EV registrations in the US, which is what we're looking at, I think. Per S&P Global Mobility, I replied, headline in Shortville, Tesla losing more US market share, bright drop rises 875%. Hashtag Tesla Q, for real this time, you guys. I amused myself. Oh, it's actually better to show it to you in this view. Nope. I thought it would be, but it's not. You can't see bright drop. Here's Fisker at the bottom of the list, who Michael Fan was drawing our attention to. Fisker sold 96 vehicles. Despite being bankrupt, they sold 96 vehicles. Where's bright drop? Here they are. They sold 39 vehicles. That's up 875% from the one vehicle they sold a year ago during the same time period. They rose from 1 to 39. They're up 38 vehicles sold, but that's an 875% increase. So, because this number is larger than this number is, the 1.2% growth Tesla had year over year, BrightDrop took market share from Tesla. That's how you know. If their percentage growth is larger than Tesla's percentage growth, even though this is more than 1,000 vehicles worth of growth, the 36 or the 38 vehicles that BrightDrop grew by earn them more market share than Tesla. Like, Tesla loses market share and BrightDrop gains market share because this percentage is larger than this percentage is. That's how market share calculations work. I expect Tesla to continue losing market share as more competitors figure out that they should be selling EVs. The more the entire market transitions away from fossil fuel vehicles to fully electric vehicles, the more market share Tesla ought to lose. But the mission of Tesla is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. So Tesla achieves their mission when they can lose market share to competitors transitioning to EVs. Okay. So I like that post from Omar that you just saw. Here's one from Elon Musk retweeting this great video. It's a music video from SpaceX. A very well done one at that, I should add. You can't go wrong featuring the music of John Williams as composed for the newest trilogy of Star Wars. I can't find a bad John Williams soundtrack, but this video is worth watching if you would like to check it out. I'm trying to stall for time here as the video gets to the part where the music starts. But I'll give you a little taste for it here, and then I'll keep moving on with the show.
Here is Ray's theme by John Williams, brought to you from the stars.
All right, that's as much as I can let you listen to right now. Go check it out if you want to hear the rest of that music. Here's one from Dylan Loomis that I liked only 5 hours ago, so you know we're nearing the end of this week's episode. Do you think BYD is still unprofitable without subsidies? I've read conflicting reports. Nice chart, by the way. What's Dylan Loomis replying to? Well, it's this chart that I made this morning and posted saying which company's profitability trend looks better, hashtag Tesla, hashtag BYDDF. Why isn't the hashtag BYD? The company's name is BYD. It's because Boyd Gaming already had the ticker BYD in U.S. stock markets. They're a casino company. They own casinos. So don't tag hashtag BYD unless you're talking about casinos. It's net income as a percent of revenue on this chart. I thought about putting the revenue and the net income and the percent of net income on the same chart. You can do 3 metrics at once, but I thought this chart was impactful enough doing just the percentages. The revenue growth is still pretty good from BYD. It's still pretty good from Tesla. It's less revenue growth than BYD has had recently because BYD has been expanding a lot recently. And the net income dollars compare okay. I mean, Tesla's net income dollars are a lot more than BYD's are, same as you would guess. Based on the percentages, I didn't think it added a lot for me to do it that other way. I just did it this way because the important thing to look at here is, hey, Tesla used to lose money. Back in 2017, they lost money. What was BYD doing back then? They were making 5%. So they were doing a lot better than Tesla was 7 years ago. What's happened since then? BYD has done worse or the same. They did the same in 2023 that they did in 2017. What's happened since for Tesla? They've improved. Every single year, without exception, they've done better. And they got above zero pretty quickly and stayed there. That's the most important part. You want to stay above zero. In 2020, they surpassed any of these numbers from BYD. And they've gone up another 9 points since then. So this year was aided by that one-time tax benefit from prior year's losses. Tesla took that in 2023 to surprise Wall Street by about $5.9 billion to the good. So they came in surprisingly favorable versus analyst estimates, but then the estimates threw that out as a one-time non-sustainable item. So if you want to throw it out, then this percentage would be lower. It would be maybe 5 points lower. It would be maybe 12%, right? 12% is still pretty good, and it's still a lot better than any of these numbers from BYD. Will we see about 12% in 2024? We might. Will that look worse on this chart the next time I update it? If it does, it does. We'll find out if Tesla can pull out a big comeback this year from what we saw in the first half of 2024, which hasn't been great in terms of net income. I did reply to Dylan, though. I said, I don't follow them closely enough to understand the magnitude of their subsidies, but my intuition is that the Chinese government has prioritized goals other than BYD shareholder wealth maximization. Without elaborating further, but because you're watching this video, I will elaborate further for you. James, what does that post mean? It means that China places value on other stuff. So one of those things is having jobs for people to do, right? They've got a lot of people living in China who need jobs, and having a big auto industry is a great way to give a lot of good jobs to a lot of smart, capable people. They have plenty of in China, right? So the Chinese government wants to have that industry large and productive and not necessarily automated, right? It's fine for them for there to be lots and lots of jobs for human beings to be doing because that's one of their priorities, is making sure there's enough employment for everybody. Do they care a lot about the environment? Yes, they do. They really do care a lot about air quality in China. They want to improve the quality of their air. It was really bad and embarrassing the last time they hosted the Olympics. They had to shut down half the country because they were putting so much pollution out. It would have been painful for foreign athletes to breathe while they were in China, right? So they got real serious about environmentality back then, and they've been doing a lot to switch to sustainable energy and to get away from combustion engine vehicles. So the buses throughout China are already majority electric vehicles. They've got huge fleets of electric buses in the major cities in China, which there are a lot of. And they want to get people buying more EVs. So they incentivize people to purchase EVs. They provide tax relief on license tags, which are not cheap usually in China, but they are if you get an EV. That's helping them transition. We saw earlier that 30% of the market share in China is already electric vehicles. That's pretty great. It's not 96% like Norway, but they don't have the kind of government incentives Norway has for EVs. So those are some of the priorities that China, I believe, is placing ahead of the desire of BYD shareholders to make a lot of money. Why have we seen that net income percent cap out at 5%? I think China could make that number whatever they want, and what they want it to be is mid-single digits. I think that's their target for BYD profitability. They don't want that company to price their vehicles a lot higher to make more money. Why? Why do you need more profit out of BYD if you're the Chinese government? If one of your goals is to get more people purchasing EVs, what you want to do is make it more affordable for them to buy them, right? So that is my additional commentary on what this means. Yeah, so I got that comment that you just saw. I'm not going to read it to you. I'll just read you my reply. The US, the EU, and other nations impose heavy tariffs on Chinese-made vehicles to protect their domestic auto industry, and it works, but at the expense of their own citizens' disposable income. That's what protectionism is good for. It's good for protecting jobs within your country at the expense of making everyone in your country poorer. That's what protectionist tariffs do. If the Chinese government wants to make transportation affordable for low-income people around the whole world by subsidizing money-losing sale prices, everybody should let them do it and laugh all the way to the bank. Like, it would be better for US citizens to be able to buy $9,000 Wuling Minis in the US. If that's what China wants to charge for them, that would be better than having the least expensive vehicle you can buy in the US, $20,000. Would everyone buy only Chinese vehicles then? No. Most people who could afford a $30,000 vehicle would not purchase a $9,000 inferior quality vehicle, right? Open markets work. Open markets work well. When nobody has tariffs, everybody is allowed to get the best deal for whatever their situation is, right? Everybody's economic situation is different, and it would be better for lower income people, not just in the US, everywhere, if they could purchase cheap Chinese vehicles. That would be better. A lot of people would prefer to make that decision if it were a decision they could make. But a lot of countries put 100% tariffs on products like that to make them so unaffordable that Chinese automakers don't even bother trying to export into those markets because the size of the prize is insufficient for it to be worth their effort. I actually oppose all tariffs on a purely economic growth basis, with the limited exception of situations where reciprocating tariffs matching the high tariffs other countries impose on your exports to their country could motivate a foreign country to lower or eliminate their own tariffs. So, probably said enough about that already, but yeah, that's how it works. Tariffs make your own citizens poorer because you've left them less disposable income when you won't let them purchase a cheaper foreign-made product. All right, I'll back out of here. Keep going to the next tweet that I liked, if there is one. Well, yeah, there's this one from Viv. Didn't think the bar for journalism could go any lower. I was wrong. Here's the headline from Futurism. SpaceX drains air from spacecraft while astronauts are inside. Well, that sounds like SpaceX murdered the astronauts, doesn't it? I mean, it's effective for getting you to click, which is the whole point of clickbait, to get people to click and open up the page and serve you some ads so Futurism can make some money. I replied, if Futurism had been around on VE Day, their headline would have been New Yorkers releasing alarming volume of uncontrolled litter from dangerous height above pedestrians below. That would have been the headline to go with this photo of the ticker tape parade after the Nazis were defeated. You buried the lead, Futurism. The alternative headline could have been successful SpaceX spacewalk, but maybe that wouldn't have gotten as many clicks. Here's one from Diana. Remember not too long ago, X removed the ability to see who liked a post besides the original poster. Then remember how not too long after we heard governments going after citizens for liking posts. It's almost as though Elon knew. Well, maybe he did. Maybe Elon knew people in England were getting arrested for liking stuff other people posted and doing jail time for memes, for liking a meme or sharing a meme. That's dumb. So, good stuff there. What else do I have here? I've got a few from Todd Gleason, who I noticed this week and gave a follow. He was putting up some gems this week. Let's see a few. Here's one. In space, no one can hear you. Clickbait. That's a good one. That was a variation on the original Alien film from James Cameron. In space, no one can hear you scream was how he got people into theaters to watch the original Alien movie. And the other one that I liked, which was the most recent tweet that I liked, Futurism drains truth from reporting while readers are inside. So a couple of good replies there from Todd Gleason. And that is my episode for this week. So thank you for watching. As always, let's check in with Loki. As we put a button on this week's 82-minute long episode, he's just doing a little grooming over there, getting ready for whatever his next social event is after this. And I will thank you for watching this week's episode. Loki and I thank you. We work hard on the show prep for this series, so we appreciate your patronage, especially from my executive producers. As Loki can hear me outroing, Kathy Kitchler and Rebellionaire.com, and I'll see you in the next one.